And welcome to Week 8, Part 1 of this month's episode of Destiny Horizon. Hello, guys. We are starting later than normal because I almost burned my house down, and we have had nothing but tech difficulties because Skype's update. So, Discord, please hurry up with your video chat. We really need it. But let's go around the table. We're going to make this quick because we are so eager to play and we're in an exciting moment. Okay, Azel plays Grakaza. He's doing okay. His cell phone's messed up. Thank you, Grakaza. Everybody say hello. Ethan, he is playing Coran Reed, and Ethan is suffering from allergies, so if he's rude and interrupts the dialogue with a cough, everybody forgive him because he's allergic to oxygen. Next up, we've got John. Actually, let's go to Brian. Brian, how you doing? Great.
Fine,
he
thank
plays
you.
Valerie. He is very excited to be here, he was telling us. And he and I had very nice conversations, Candy Bacon, on the Tides of Change. Again, I'm sorry I'm going fast, but this is an exciting episode. And the Tide Change winner is Jonathan K. Jonathan K., thank you for joining us again.
Yay!
For part 2. I'm not going to recap what the Tide Change is because the audience is just going to have to be surprised, and then I'll say, oh, by the way, that was the Tide Change. However, Jonathan, I understand that you might be dealing with a potential tornado. There's actually sirens going on with Jonathan, and he's like, oh, fuck tornadoes, I got a game to play. So since he's being Clint Eastwood, if we see the roof tear off his house and he all of a sudden vanishes from his computer chair, we will continue to play, and hopefully we'll hear back from him later.
It is
so,
memory.
I actually have the blast door PNG ready to go over his camera at any point in time. So, okay. And we'll try to send a rescue party, but, you know, there's a tornado, so you're probably already going to have people looking for you. Here we go. Coran. Before we start anything, let's start rolling Destiny points. But before we do that, let me actually make sure that everything's reset, because I don't want to F this up any more than we already have today. And could you guys not freaking roll 8 light side like you did last time? That would be great. Hit sync with GM on your character sheets.
Yep.
Excellent. All right. I will roll my Destiny.
Fine. Fuck.
Son.
Damn it.
Brian,
Yes.
give us a roll.
Okay, white die, right? I never remember
Just
this.
hit roll
I don't
Destiny.
know why.
There's a
Oh,
button.
where's? Oh,
Yeah.
here we go. There we go. That's even better.
Damn it.
Yes! Sorry, I'm very excited. So 2 light side and 5 dark side. Yes. Now I'm going to force player update and then just hit sync with GM. And then I'm going to really quick, sorry audience, you're going to see this, but I'm going to clear my chat log. There we go, we cleaned it out. Only took a brief second. Okay. So, everybody's all synced up. It says 2 and 5.
Yes.
Yep.
I love the fact that we have this moment where you have this really big invasion, and I have all the dark side.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Commander Reed, you are on a railing, and you're standing there, and your eyes are fixated on this light that is currently red. You know for a fact that once the hatch is breached, it will turn green. You've got 4 other drop pods with you. Each of them are filled with 25 commando units. Most of them survivors from the Praxis 4 fight. You know, there were a lot of commandos. You guys have actually lost more pilot and naval staff than you have the commandos themselves. So, that's where you're at. Coran, I have a question. What part of the Super Star Destroyer are you aiming at?
Like, it's
I mean,
exterior or
clearly
what
the
plan
well,
out?
how are you going to land? You're in the lead ship. You're going to tell them where to go. Clearly, the easiest way is to go underneath it and into the hangar. But it's entirely up to you how you want to handle this.
Is the aft sides, like... I have to go to you on how it's designed. Is the aft side designed like the other Superstar Destroyers where it barely has any defenses?
Yeah. But keep in mind, your goal is the bridge. So if you go in from underneath, you're going to have a longer way to go on the inside.
Yeah. So what I'm thinking is if we can hit on the aft side as close to the superstructure as we can, because that would be closer to more critical systems.
Maybe. Keep in mind that with the Super Star Destroyer, the bridge is actually more towards the center. It's like a third of the way into the Star Destroyer. I mean, Super Star Destroyers are huge, and they have like 12 engines, each of them operating in a 4-engine circuit. So there's no real hub of... You know, there's nothing that you guys can hit that'll take out so many systems that it's going to be that effective.
Yeah.
I'll let you think about
like
it if you want.
Yeah.
It's up to you. I mean, nobody's ever attacked a Super Star Destroyer before in my book, so you just, if you have to, Google a picture and think about it.
Yeah, let me do that while you...
That being said, we're going to pan over to Tunpo, Grakaza, and Valerie. Grakaza, you are on your knees, your hands and knees. Your back is killing you. It's the most extreme pain that you've felt in a long time. And you're pretty screwed up still because you panicked and escaped from the back-to tank. Tunpo,
yeah, that was not very pleasant.
No, it was not. You're flying the ship, Tunpo. And Valerie, you are standing next to Grakaza. Jeb shows no pity and just turns his back and goes and checks on some of the systems inside the Star's End as you guys approach the Destiny Horizon.
I'm going to get Grakaza up off the floor, go, come here, come with me. We're going to go and take care of your pain. So take him over to a regular bed of something in the medical that's not the tank. And get some...
Grakaza, you notice something as she's taking you. You don't quite know what it is, but there's a feeling that you're not used to. Go ahead, Valerie.
Ooh. So take him over, put him on to get him to come over to get onto one of the larger beds.
There's actually no beds in this medical bay. It's been completely converted to a cybernetics lab.
Oh, well, then find a place where you can lay down.
All right, so probably one of the other rooms. Yeah.
Yeah, and then wait here. I'm going to get some medication for you. We need to kill the pain and you feel better. So she's going to hurry off to the medical bay and get the appropriate medication.
Yeah. So
where's Nick and all them?
By the way, the medical bay, just so you know, is a medicine cabinet in the cybernetics lab. It's not very big. Grakaza, what was
probably
that?
Whatever stems.
I kind of call up to Valerie very weakly. It's like, where's Mick? Where are they?
Oh, I'll tell you when I come back.
Yeah, she dips out. Grakaza, that feeling that you have, it's starting to pull at you. It almost feels like you have this weird static electricity dragging on your skin, and it's on a certain point of your head.
I reach up to feel that point.
There's nothing there.
It's just this strange feeling.
Do you look around, or?
Yeah, I kind of look around. And
as you look around, you notice it travels. And it's pointing in the same... It doesn't leave the same direction.
Is there anything towards that? What I guess... Better question is, what is that feeling pointing towards in terms of the ship?
Well, the door to this room.
Okay, and that's just no matter which way my head turns, it follows the same point.
Yes.
I'm gonna kind of crawl over to the door and try and follow the feeling.
You're in pain, but you are able to move.
Okay, so well, I kind of staggered towards the door. Yeah.
You open the door, and all you see is a bulkhead in front of you. So it's like pointing at the bulkhead. Now you do know that the ship is rounded a little bit in this part, so you could go around the bulkhead to get to the cargo bay.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that.
Yeah, and as you're going around, it's kind of like doing this on your head, and then as you come into the cargo bay, you look right at it. The sarcophagus.
Oh, shit.
I
have a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, and as you're doing that, there's scientists combing over the sarcophagus looking at it, and you hear them talking. It's weird. Its energy ratings are off the chart.
I kind of
It's currently in a stasis field, let it be said.
I walk over to one of them and I ask, does anybody else feel strange tingling on their head?
They all look at you, very confused, and the Duros turns, no, are you feeling okay? I mean, you've been through a lot.
True. I don't know. I just had this feeling.
You feel this urge. The urge. Every time you look at the sarcophagus, it's almost like you can't pull your eyes away from it.
I've been through this song and dance way too many times. I kind of want to look away and just start backing off.
You start backing off, and now the feeling is pulling at the back of your head.
Is it getting more intense as I walk away, or?
Oh, yes. Valerie comes out of the medical room. She found a few medicines. She already used the med kit on you. Most medicines are like ibuprofen-type painkillers.
Yeah.
And she steps out and sees that you're standing there in the middle of the cargo bay with all the scientists.
Oh, what are you doing here? You should be laying down. Come back with me.
I should, yeah, but there's something weird.
What's the matter?
I just have this strange feeling, like it's just this weird pull, and I kind of look over at the sarcophagus.
Oh yes, I'm going to need you to roll some sort of will check, like resilience. Isn't that a will check? Discipline. Sorry, need you to roll
Okay.
discipline, and because you're so close to the sarcophagus, the difficulty is going to be 4 purple.
Okay. Oh, that did not.
That's my fault. That's okay.
Okay.
Just ignore the force side. I forgot to reset my pool. You
Okay.
succeed, but I want you to take 4 strain.
Oh,
You're
okay.
successfully fighting this feeling, but you can. It's nagging at your brain. You can't even take it anymore.
Val, something weird's going on.
I pull out my scanner and I'm scanning him.
You're not getting any strange readings from him, but there's a large power spike coming from the sarcophagus.
I asked the scientist, is there a way to enhance this field so that can block any sort of emissions?
Sorry, this field is a physical stasis barrier, not an energy. So it's a
We need to
kinetic
get this
barrier.
thing off this. We have to get rid of this thing as soon as possible. Come back with me,
Grakaza,
You
the
need
moment
to
he
rest.
says get rid of it, you are filled with rage.
I let out a roar and just kind of say, "Nobody touch it."
Yeah, everybody. Okay, well, Wookiee roar when you're angry is freaking scary. So everybody kind of steps back, and the Duros doesn't though. He's like, "Really?" And he kind of looks down at it curiously. And some of the people are wiping their hands, like, "Is it infected?"
Don't worry, Grakaza, it's not going anywhere. Here, come with me. You need to rest and let me take care of your wounds.
I go with her, but I'm looking at the sarcophagus the whole time and just don't move it.
Yeah,
It's
you
not
go with
going
her back.
anyplace.
To
It's in the stasis field.
You go back there to the room, and you just
All
feel
right, so I'm gonna
that pull. It
run
almost
it-
feel, imagine a vortex of energy spiraling off your head, and almost like grabbing your hair. Like that's what it feels like. It feels like somebody's grabbed your hair and is tugging you in a direction, not painfully, but like a kid is sitting there holding your hair until you pay attention to them.
I kind of hold my head with my hands with that side.
Using the scanner, I want to scan that part of his head. Is there anything underneath?
No, not at all.
I'll check the rest of his body while I'm giving him the painkillers and something to sleep.
So you're giving him something to sleep?
Yeah.
Are you telling him this?
I'm going to tell him, yeah, I said, I'm going to give you something that'll make you rest and so you might fall asleep.
Grakaza, you immediately have a flash in your head of you falling asleep and cuddling with the blanket, and them going, now, and pushing the sarcophagus out of the ship.
No.
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 You don't.
No. I can't.
Well-
I can't do this. No. I gotta. I gotta be awake.
All right. Well, here, let me give you something for the pain down.
Toonpo, you're
No,
receiving
Val, it's-
communication up in the front. We'll slide from that scene.
I'll just give him painkillers for the time being.
Yep.
Am I still up there alone?
No, of course Laren's sitting next to you.
Oh. I hesitantly reach up and answer the call.
You reach up and you hit it, and there's a Zabrak male, and he's like, "Who the hell are you?"
I'm the pilot. Who are you?
My name is Commander Zoran. I'm with the Destiny Horizon.
Ah, so you're these people's commander, probably.
Kind of raises his brow. Where did you come from? You're not part of Wild Space. Nah, you know what?
No,
I don't have time
no.
for that. I need you to land on the ship immediately. I understand Krakaza's been hurt.
Yes.
And in
That was the
background,
goal.
You hear a, "Yes, I'll try telling you. He needs my help." Look. the Zabrak holds his hand up. I understand. I understand. So he goes, "Just come to the hangar immediately, and then we'll get you guys retrofitted, and we'll figure out what to do from there."
All right, we're making all speed.
Yeah. None of the fighters are on you anymore, so it's actually pretty easy to fly over there. Coran, have you decided how you're going to tackle this?
Well, I'd like to just strike into the bridge area, but I know that's the most heavily defended with ion cannons and turbo lasers and stuff like that. So we're going to have to do it the hard way and go for the main hangar underneath and fucking fight our way to it.
So you're going to go underneath?
Yeah.
Okay, so you kind of let the pilot know what's going on, and he carries out the orders to the other pilots, and the ships start banking. TIE fighters are coming in, but they're keeping their distance, which you find very weird. They're almost flying a circle around your landing craft.
Kind of like vultures on their prey. Okay, yeah.
No, I mean, they're not even targeting you. They're just flying around you. Almost in a sphere.
Okay. Do these drop pods don't have any weapons on them, do they?
No.
Okay.
They're actually just super heavily armored.
Okay.
Do you continue?
Yeah. Yeah, we're going to continue, but I'm going to change my orders from the main hangar. Since we're going under, I want them to hit as close to where their engines are.
All right, so you start coming down, and as you approach, you notice that the TIE fighters in front of you that are between you and the Star Destroyer clear out. And there's now an open path between you and the Star Destroyer. Now they're just kind of hovering behind you in a hemisphere.
Yeah. Okay, just keep going.
Yeah, so you keep going, and all of a sudden you hear a klaxon coming from the cockpit.
I'm going to rush up to the cut.
Yeah, you rush up to the cockpit, no problem, and he looks at you and goes, "We've got unidentified objects heading this way."
Do you have visuals?
No. And he's squinting, and can I have you roll a perception check against 3 purple?
Yes, sir. Perception. 3 purple. 3. Perception. Alright. There we go.
Nailed it. You see these tiny little glints of metal in the starlight behind you, with a small flame behind it. They're smaller than missiles, and they're just flying towards your ship. And there's a lot of them.
Ooh.
I'm just gonna scream evasive maneuvers.
And then the pilot goes, "Shields up to full. Evasive maneuvers, everyone." And all of the drop pods kind of start to wander their way around, and that's when you realize what kind of weapons these are. every time one of them flies close to one of the drop pods, they explode, and fragments come out, and then those fragments explode. You are flying through a thick cloud of flak. Flak turrets are just... the shields are flaring up, and you're like, oh my god! And everybody's shaking. And that's when the pilot looks back at you and says, our drop pods are made for this. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, but if we get hit with a direct hit, I don't know how it's going to do.
We won't. These drop pods are made to drop into an atmosphere. You saw it on Praxis. Come on.
Yeah, I saw a few of them get blown out of the sky, too.
The only problem is visibility, and you guys can't see anything because of all the smoke and fire.
Makes sense, yeah. Does his navigation system still show okay? Or is he just doing it by visual?
So basically it's just visual. The scanners are going nuts because of all the metallic pings.
Okay, I'm just going to tell him, full blast, go.
Alright, yeah, you full blast. So as you power through it, the bursting clouds just kind of rattle the ship a while. And Admiral Thrawn's sitting on the bridge watching you guys dip underneath, and he's like, interesting. Continue peppering their ship. I want their sensors scrambled for this next part. And he goes, got it. A little officer runs down in one of the pits. Admiral Thrawn leans back. So the Inquisitors have not done their job. Pity. Meanwhile, on Coran's ship, as the shuttle, or the landing craft vibrates, all of a sudden the pilot says, oh no, I know what they're doing. The fragments are getting into the engines. I'm losing speed. We're not going to make it, sir.
We're under the Star Destroyer right now, right?
No, you're going towards the underside of the Star Destroyer. Remember, this thing's huge. You're on the top part.
Okay. Can we make it or not?
You're too small for turbolasers. No, sir. Yeah. We may have to change plans. And then you hear over a radio crackle, we've been hit! And one of the drop pods turns and starts banking towards the top of the destroyer. And he's like, we're going to try to penetrate. May the Force be with you. For Alderaan! And you see them activate a thruster pod. And what it does is it kind of like, these metal plates fly off the back of the ship, and it just goes, and just tears off in front of you guys and heads straight for the ship. You realize that now that he's trying to scatter the drop pods.
Okay, I'm going to get on the radio and say, all drop pods, form on me. We're going to land here, and I'm going to direct the pilot to the closest part of the Superstar Destroyer that we can get to.
Yeah, it's actually along the top, and you realize that that other drop pod's heading towards the bridge. So if you want, you guys can engage the drop pods, but it'll be underneath the bridge in that main tower.
That's what,
Perfect.
That's what I'm going to do.
So all of a sudden, you bark your orders. Everybody, you see these blips of confirmations as you hit the buttons, and the engines detach, and the drop pods start pushing forwards. Admiral Thrawn smiles. They can't control themselves now. They're on a straight path. I want all intercepting fighters to swoop in. And the moment that you guys start your descent and the ejection pods are released, engines are full bore, the flak stops. And that's when the TIE fighters start closing in like a wave, filling up crevasse in a flood. And green lasers are just tattering across your shields, flying past you. None of the guns on the Superstar Destroyer are opening fire, though. Meanwhile, camera pans over to the hangar of the Destiny Horizon as the Star's End touches down. Staff from the ship start running forward, immediately start refueling it. They start taking care of some of the exterior damage that you guys suffered from just atmospheric flight.
I'm going to... Oh, let's see. Yeah. They probably should remove the thing, even though Grakaza didn't want it. Grakaza can go with it. So hopefully,
So Valerie, are you going to go tell them that?
Yeah, because Grakaza has to come off the ship.
So how are you going to go tell them? Who are you going to radio?
All right.
The
All right.
officer?
Yeah. And so I'll call him and let him know that they need to come and remove this because it'll be safer on the Destiny Horizon than here. And so Grakaza, you need to go. The doctor wants to see you. Also, for safekeeping, the
Sarcophagus.
Thank you. The sarcophagus is going to go with you.
Okay.
Because apparently he's got some weird connection right now. She's thinking, and it's best to just placate him at the moment until we figure out what's going on. So she'll help him down out of the ship, along with whoever else needs to change or get whatever stuff we need, and then bring down the sarcophagus. Is what's his name still inside?
Oh, hang on. First, we're skipping way too much RP for this. So you radio the dock officer and say, "Hey, come and get the sarcophagus." And the dock officer, who's been with the ship for about a month since the last dock officer decided to try to blow the Destiny Horizon in half, he's pretty experienced now because of everything that you guys have been going through, and he immediately gets a hazard team to form up.
Sure.
So that's what's going on now. Now you can turn and address the rest of the crew.
All right.
Of the Star's End, anyway.
Well, I'll tell them. I'll say if we need to, we need any supplies or anything, and we need to get whatever scientific equipment we've left on the Star's End. I mean, on the Destiny Horizon, onto the Star's End. So why don't we do all of that? Valeria, if that's okay with you.
Valeria is transfixed out the cockpit, and she's staring over Toonpo's shoulder. Toonpo, you've successfully navigated a freighter through an entire angry swarm of TIE fighters. How do you feel? What does Toonpo look like physically now that you've landed successfully?
Oh, your mic's
muted.
off.
Sorry. He just plops back and slides down the chair for a second. Well, I don't want to have to do that again.
Laren smiles and pulls out a flask and hands it to Toonpo. You deserve this, my friend.
Despite the earlier interaction, he regards it for a second and goes ahead and takes it.
And you swig it?
Tips one back.
Yeah,
Tips
it's
one
actually
back,
really freaking good. It's really fruity, but it's like a hard A. Almost as if like a fruit-flavored vodka was mixed with a juice. So it's very, very, very good. He says, you can keep it, my friend. And winks at you. And turns around towards Valerie and Valeria and smiles at Valerie flirtatiously. There's more where that came from, he says under his breath, to where he can't be heard by Valerie, but Toonpo hears it. Valeria says, oh shit, Valerie.
What's the matter?
I'm not ready for this yet. And you see Commander Zoran walking towards the freighter.
What's the matter? What aren't you ready for?
It's too long to explain. Can you go intercept him?
Who's Zoran?
Yeah, don't let him on the ship. I gotta get ready. And she turns around and just walks away.
Well, go hide or something for the time being, and I got to take care of Grakaza, and I'll catch him when we're bringing him all down the ship, because he's concerned about Grakaza right now.
Yeah, Grakaza, you come out of the room, which is, the hallway that leads out of those little rooms meets up with the cockpit hallway, so you guys kind of run into each other.
All right, let's go. We're going to get you to the med bay. The doctor is very concerned, and so is the commander.
And the sarcophagus?
It's on its way.
To the med bay?
Well, wherever they're going to take it, I don't know. But don't worry, you'll be nearby, at least on the same ship. They're not going to get rid of it or anything.
And as the cargo is lowering, you guys are heading towards the landing ramp. Valeria's looking around frantically, and you hear Zoran's voice from the bottom. I want that thing destroyed right the fuck now, as he's pointing at the sarcophagus.
And I can hear this too.
Oh yeah, it's echoing up the ramp as he's heading towards the ramp. He's storming in.
No! And I just charge towards Soren.
Yeah, you come running down the ramp, and he's like, Urkaza, I'm so glad you... What do you do when you get to him?
I kind of tackle him. I don't want to kill him, but I do want to get him away from him.
Okay, so Valeria hears, and this Wookiee, and tackles Orin, and she goes, God damn it, and she pulls out a heavy blaster, runs down the ramp, and aims at it, and goes, Urkaza, stop before I stun you. I do not want to put you down. And Zoran's like, Urkaza, what are you? And his eyes look past your shoulder, and just this look of horror as he sees his wife.
Don't go near the sarcophagus.
Understood.
Mallory looks at it. Yeah, she goes, don't touch it right now.
They're halfway through
later.
unloading it, and they're like,
Bring it down.
Jeb's like, she means figuratively. Literally remove it off of the goddamn freighter. Just do not destroy it. Urkaza's is trying to overrule the commander. This ought to be good.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. He says as he leans against the landing gear. Urkaza, you're on top of the commander, but it seems like he's not even paying attention.
I look.
You hear the weapons being drawn of commando units that are on the... Well, what's left of them on the hangar pointing their guns at you. Urkaza,
God,
I will
this is all
shoot you, Valeria's voice says.
Oh, this is all sorts of fucked, and I roll over. I just let him go.
You know what? Jeb says, Urkaza wants sarcophagus so bad, he can unload it. And he snaps his fingers and then points, and all of the engineering staff just walk away with him.
I get up and I just silently move over to the sarcophagus and start pushing it.
The moment you touch it, your eyes light up white, and you're looking up in the sky. Urkaza, you see darkness.
Again.
And in the darkness, this light emerges. And you just feel... You can't explain it, but you know it's the Force. And it's overwhelming, and life is growing, and everything about it is beautiful. And then you feel some of the Force become sentient. And instead of allowing life to create on its own, it starts intelligently designing life, making it better, enhancing it, giving it abilities, giving it intelligence, giving it strength, giving it love, giving it passion. And the rest of the Force is offended by this. And it turns on the Force that's trying to benefit life. The Force and the energy start to combat, start to swell, start to tear each other apart. And the Force that is independent, that believes in freedom, that believes in passion, that believes in love, goes, I am Snoke. And that's when you're snapped out of it.
Do I still feel that gigantic pull?
Oh, yeah.
I just kind of take a step back, just kind of look at my hands, and then just keep pushing.
You feel like you've just been in the presence of an ancient being. Possibly the oldest living sentience that you have ever experienced, and you don't even know how to explain how you know this. You have just been touched with this knowledge and this love and this anger for what happened to him, and you don't know how to explain it. But you are able to push the sarcophagus without interfering with it.
I don't even know what to do at this stage other than just keep going.
Yeah, you just kind of shrug it off and start pushing the sarcophagus, and you can move it to the med bay. The med bay needs a cargo hallway so that you can transport large medical goods instead of, bucket brigading the medical goods. So there is a lift that'll take you into the med bay, and you can get there.
Okay, I'll go down that route.
Valerie, you're on the ramp, and you are caught between a very flustered Valeria and a very shocked Zoran.
Well, I'll help Zoran up off the floor.
Yeah, this happens like immediately. You walk over and you
Right.
help him, and he goes, "What are you doing in wild space, sweetie?" And he runs up and hugs her and gives her a kiss, and she just doesn't kiss him back but doesn't move. She's just staring at him with tears in her eyes.
I'm trying to remember anything that she might have said about herself. Did she say something about her husband being dead?
Not to you.
Okay. I keep thinking, why would I know this?
I think you remember it because she actually said it to Coran. She explained everything to Coran. So it might be a little bit of, your player remembering, but your character doesn't.
Okay. So I'm just watching them. Or actually, at this point, I'll let them talk, and I'll just go back to the other scientists and say, we need this, and we need to arrange stuff. And so
Tunpo,
she'll just walk past them both and kind of pat them on the shoulder and just kind of go off into the thing.
Yeah, the Admiral looks up and says, "You need a moment. Please, take her to the lounge." And she's shocked. She doesn't know what to say. And he grabs her hand and kind of like in a confused manner goes, "Come on, babe." Starts taking her to the lounge. And as they leave the hangar, the Admiral turns towards you. "Valerie,
Yes.
I'm very impressed with how you've kept everything together, being a civilian.
Oh. Well, thank you.
If there's any way that we could reward you for your service, please let me know."
Well, I have a suggestion. If possibly one comes in handy. But we might need a larger ship for the science team for any future, basically just to sort of do what we do. Unfortunately, as powerful as the Star's End is and its ability to change things, it's a bit small for a science ship. But I know this is not the time. So if there's anything in the future.
In our last conflict, one of the Corellian corvettes suffered... Oh, shit! Ah! Sorry, I had beans. Sometimes that just slips out. No, but, he says, actually, one of the Corellian corvettes has suffered significant crew loss in the last conflict. It is not entirely unfeasible for us to give you and your science team this corvette.
That would be wonderful. It would greatly be appreciated.
Now, I still recommend you take the Star's End with you, as it has been modified to have a hangar, but you're going to need a smaller ship to get around. Not to mention,
by all means,
I'm really concerned about what I've heard about this ship. How it's not from here. And the Duros and a lot of the scientists are standing behind you, just kind of listening.
Well, that's true. It's, it seems to be from the future. Not that far in the future, but from the future. And it seems to have the ability, because of its jump drive, to alter the timeline.
You say that and he blinks at you. You could tell he understands, but he's processing. Then it should be destroyed.
It's a lot to think about.
And
well, actually, it might...
and all of the other scientists are nodding their head yes.
It might be something worth studying prior to its being dismantled.
No. Altering time is not something that we should meddle with. That's like trying to control the Force.
But there might be a way to alter its engine so that it doesn't alter the timeline, but yet it's still effective. So that should be something we should look into, but not use it. we'll
All
keep
right.
it on
You
board.
take it on to that Coran Corvette once it's refitted. And you'll be able to study it all you want. But in the meantime, I don't want it to be used.
I understand.
And he nods. Turns towards the Duros. These are the men that I was informed that boarded your ship.
Yes.
They're under your control now. I understand they're of the science type, and I have no need for them.
Fine, that's fine. They're excellent. They're excellent scientists.
Take whatever you need from the science wing.
I will, thank you.
The Admiral salutes and waits patiently. Getting cold-shouldered, he lowers his salute awkwardly and just walks
Oh,
away.
is that what he's waiting
Yeah.
for? Oh.
He's just like,
okay. Thank you, sir.
God damn. Stupid civilians. As he's muttering as he walks off. Toonpo, you just witnessed all of this from the ramp. Laren goes, God, I love a woman who can take power.
He kind of looks over at Laren and is like, what is wrong with these people?
I have no idea. You thought I was messed up. Smoke? And he pulls out a cigarette.
No, thanks.
Don't mind if I
The
do.
drink
And
will-
he just lights off 2 of them, and he's smoking 2 of them as he's like, some messed up shit. You hear something from inside the Stars Inn, Toonpo.
Side-eyeing.
Here's something from inside the Stars Inn, Toonpo. Beep, 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 beep. You recognize it as a proximity alert. And then as soon as that happens, the klaxons in the Destiny Horizon start going off.
From the cockpit.
Well, the
Probably.
the beepings from the cockpit in the Star's End, but then the Destiny Horizons klaxons in the hangar are going off, and people are looking at it like, what's going on?
Valerie says, now what? Oh,
I'm going to run to the cockpit to see what at least
you
the
run
Stars
to the
End is saying.
cockpit, and there's several signatures that have just hyperspaced into the area, and you recognize them as the planetary security from Zerm.
Oh.
And that's where we're going to
Yeah.
have the camera wipe to Coran.
Yep.
Coran, your drop pod's racing. All of a sudden, you see one of the drop pods in front of you just completely get obliterated by TIE fighter fire, and its shrapnel ricochets off your ship. Your ship actually goes pong and jerks to the side, but the pilot's like, I gotta take it down, sir.
Do it.
We're not gonna be able to go with the others. And then an explosion rocks the back of the ship, and your vessel, which was going down, gets hit and now spirals upward. And you are headed straight for the bridge.
Ram the shit out of that ship.
Roger, sir! It almost seems like an eternity for you. I imagine you want to turn around and let the guys know.
Yeah. Brace for impact.
So the way that this drop pod is designed, there's people in the back, there's a railing along the top, and a tube that goes all the way to the nose of the ship. The pilot and the co-pilot actually sit on opposite sides of the tube so that they could pass things to each other and talk. But literally what the tube is the moment you clamp onto a piece of metal and the magnetic clamps are activated, it sears a hole through the other ship and drills it, and then your troops can file through the hole and enter the vessel. It's exactly how you guys boarded off on Praxis. So the ship's starting to careen out of control, and he's like, ah! And that's when, boom! You guys hit the front of the Star Destroyer. So the rest of them are landing somewhere in the middle along the top, and you are attached to the front of the Star Destroyer's tower.
Okay.
And he's like, punch it! Punch it! And the co-pilot starts punching it. And hitting a bunch of buttons, and that's when you see the sparks from the drill. And as you're looking back and you're telling the men to fasten up, there's a tiny little viewport on the back, and you see a missile coming directly for you.
All right, I'm gonna yell at them. Missile incoming! Get to the front!
They
try
all
to
look back,
get
they see the
everybody
viewport, and in order, they clamp onto the railing, and they start tapping each other's helmets to let them know they're ready. One guy taps you to let you know that everybody's ready. And the light turns green before the door is even unwelded. So you guys are literally standing at the front of the ship going, come on, come on, come on. As it's going, the pilot looks over to you. We've got a lot of layers to cut through. This thing is heavily fortified.
Boom!
Is there any way that I need you to roll a resilience against a difficulty of 2 because you are strapped to a device.
Sounds good. Difficulty of 2, resilience. Oh, don't fail me now. Yes.
Excellent. The explosion pushes the dropship. You hear the tearing of metal as the dropship, with its drilling motion and the engines blaring, pushes inside the bridge. Or not the bridge, but the tower.
Yeah.
So it pushes inside the tower. So instead of making a nice hole, it just goes and forces its way in the ship. The explosion crumples the back. The engines detach as part of their emergency, and they go skittering about before exploding. And that's when the men almost, like as you're stumbling, the men almost push you forward, and you run into this hallway that has steel polished floor. The walls are very industrial. There's computers all over the place. And you see a bunch of Imperial officers at a couple terminals look over. Stormtroopers are looking at you guys completely baffled and shocked. They're like, what is this? And your men file out.
I'm gonna look at the officers with my men, like, piling out around me, and just say, kill them all. And I'm gonna start shooting at the officers.
Yeah, and you go kill them all, and as you do that, you look at the officers, you're getting ready to shoot, and that's when you see Admiral Thrawn step into the hallway. So you almost hesitate, and the commandos are looking at you like, now? And he takes his cape off, sets it on the ground, pulls out a vibro sword, presses his hand against it, and he goes, Commander Reed, I see you've come to fulfill my promise.
And as I'm a smile comes onto my face, knowing that he said he was going to wipe the smirk off my face.
No, you said that to him, and he says the smirk was going to be the last thing you saw as I put my boot to your throat.
Boot to your throat. And I go, I hope you're ready to die.
I've polished my boots for you. He looks down. They are quite shiny.
We gonna talk all day, or we can fight?
Let's do this. And that's where we're going to end the first part of our episode for this week of Destiny Horizon. I think given everything that's gone on in the last hour, the crew's going to need a little bit of time to recuperate. Thank you very much for joining. If you liked the video, please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, hit subscribe. And follow us on the Tides of Change Facebook role-playing group. Again, thanks to everybody. Let's get to part 2. Bye-bye.